Welcome to another episode of Weigh In, y'all, a 21 question conversation where we look to bring the best on our Facebook friends list here to our screen and ask 21 random questions to get down to the bottom of how it is all looking. Now, everybody, just to let you guys know, this is a live show, so maybe not for the kiddies. So if you have them on your lap, you might want to whittle them off to the side just in case we let one slip. Other than that, I think it is time to let her rip. Without further ado, let's bring to the screen today's guest, Kaine. Hey, that even rhymed. Hi, Kaine.
Hey, how are you doing?
Did I miss the H or did I still get it?
Well,
Kaine.
yeah, there you said it right that time. There you go.
There we go. How are you, sir?
I'm great, and yourself?
I am doing so good. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here to kind of let us get inside that head of yours, and maybe even inside that studio of yours.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So before we get started, let me tell the people tuning in today, tomorrow, and beyond a little bit about the show. We have brought Kaine here. I hope I said that right. Okay, I'm practicing. By the end of the episode, I'm going to have it to ask him 21 random questions, ranking from the get to know you all the way down to the damn you nosy. Either way, we are going to ask you 21 questions, Kaine, in 3 rounds. With me so far?
Got it.
Okay. Then each round will become harder and harder and harder. The first round will be easy peasy, get to know you questions, nothing hard. The second round will be a little bit more saucy and may get you kicked out the house depending who's around you when you answer. Round number 3 is the hot tamale round, where we will ask you everything from your love life all the way to politics. Are you with me so far?
I'm with you.
Okay, we will give you 3 individual chances to say things like, I don't know, I can't answer, that's too hard, I don't know. Each one of those counts as a strike against your record as a non-answer. And on the third non-answer, we will wrap up the video and we will move along.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
All right, but we are a gentlewoman and gentlemen around here, so we will give you a chance at the beginning of each round to conclude the interview. We will wrap it up and we can walk away as friends. Are you down for a round to clown, Kaine?
Sure.
All right. We love it around here and we love doing things that make you go, and maybe make another few people go, So first of all, I was low-key stalking Kaine. I got the H again, Kaine. Yeah, I'm a practice. Don't worry. I got you. And we noticed and happened upon a few images that we are so ready for him to tell us about. What about this image?
Oh, that's myself, Keisha Jackson. That's she. Her mom is Millie Jackson. She's a famous soul singer from the '70s, and we were at a rap party here in Atlanta. It was my first film, Marvelous. That was in 2019, 2020. And yeah, that's that film.
Okay.
Excuse me, that's that picture. I'm sorry.
That's them. Yeah. Next up, we have the SFBFF, San Francisco Black Film Festival. Tell us about this photo.
Okay, well, yeah, that photograph is, we just recently got selected, my film Marvelous Southside Crew, which I just completed back in July. I finished filming it in July. I finished editing it around August. So they selected it for their film festival. And I think their film festival is in June 16th through the 20th. And we got selected, and that's an honor to be part of their film festival.
Absolutely. We have a film festival here in Las Vegas, and I'm like, you're just right over there, or that one's just right over there, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So that would not be too far apart, I don't think.
No,
Next up, I saw this stunning image. I'm thinking yellow is my color because it just caught my eye. And it
okay.
says, note to self, ain't nothing wrong with being wrong. Shout out to all my forever learners out there. Kaine.
Oh yeah, that's just something it's like one of my mantras that I've had over the past few years is just, you know, we're all in this learning, and you learn by making mistakes. And whenever you don't like to be criticized or don't like to be wrong, we actually inhibit ourselves from learning and progressing. So sometimes, I just speak for myself. I tell myself there's nothing wrong with being wrong. Just keep learning.
Absolutely. I think so. I think you're on to something there. That's why I had to keep that. That's going to be one of my good mornings. That's
No,
going to be a good morning here coming up very soon. How
mhm.
about this photo?
This is myself in the middle, and one of my fellow producers from Atlanta, Bobby Huntley. Bobby Huntley is a great guy. He's a talented film director and producer. He produced the Charlie movie, which won several awards. He's got a whole list of work that he's done, and he's really one of the next big directors coming out of Atlanta. So he and I were at the Charlotte Black Film Festival because we both shared an award that day, Best Feature Film at the Charlotte Black Film Festival in 2019.
Oh, sounds awful interesting. I can see that this is going to go really, really well. So, off to the first round of this sit down. Hey, that's a rhyme. Like, I'm getting better at this. Starting the conversation. So this is where we're going to ask our guests some really easy questions, and we're going to see if we can get him all warmed up for round number 2. You always have to prime. You got to prime it before you paint it. So here's a question. Red door, go back in time and fix all your mistakes, or blue door, $10 million cash?
Blue door.
You answered that so quickly. The blue door? Okay, so you gonna take the money and keep it pushing forward?
Yep, because you can't change the past, and if you change the past, something else changes. And hey, like I said, that's how you learn. I wouldn't change a thing.
That is how you learn. So I don't think I've had one person that I've asked this question to that has decided to go back and fix their mistakes. So it must be a running tally. So if you guys want to join us, please go ahead and access your Roku device or a friend that has one. And if you don't have a friend, look me up, inbox me. I might have somebody, that has one that you might be able to use. Okay, and you just go ahead and access that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to download the UBSN TV app. And this is free. It's so free. You have no idea how free it is. Okay, UBSN TV app. Shout out to Katash for hosting the Sauce in the City cast. See, I'm on a roll, y'all. And once you download the UBSN TV app, you will definitely come to this screen where you merely have to push the button, and what will happen is you will see amazing folks like Kaine here on your screen. That's how we get there. Okay, next up, we're going to play a round of Would You Rather. Always a really cool game to see how we can make them squirm. Here we go. Would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader?
Talk like Yoda.
Okay, that's a first. Talk like Yoda, huh?
Yep.
Ah, very wise I am.
Hmm.
I
He's one
can.
of my favorite characters. I like Darth Vader, but I like Yoda because he always got something really, really cool to say, something that means something. So yeah, I rock with Yoda.
You rock with the Yoda. All right. How about this one? You only have $20 and cooking for 6 people. What do you cook?
Spaghetti.
If I have one more pot of spaghetti, I don't know.
It's better than pinto beans.
I don't know. At this point, I would take the pinto beans. I swear, I
Yeah.
definitely would just go with the pinto beans because everyone says spaghetti, and I guess it is the go-to meal of champions.
For $20 and 6 people, yeah, definitely. Either
Oh
that or
my
some pinto beans.
Jiminy Christmas. Well, I think this is a good get to know you point because people who are tuning in today, tomorrow, and beyond are just meeting you just like I am. So why don't you tell them a little bit more about you and why that $20 would go on spaghetti?
Well, me, I have been accused of being frugal, cheap, but I don't think I'm cheap or frugal. Frugal, I just don't like to waste money, and I figure that if I was to feed somebody with $20, most people do like spaghetti. I mean, people will eat beans, but I mean, a lot of people would prefer something that they kind of enjoy. So I think spaghetti is like a default.
Oh, okay. And so you've been accused of being frugal, have you?
Yeah, but I don't like being broke. So they can call me what they want. All that.
Like, whatever. I don't even care. Call me what you want, say what you want. I bet you I ain't gonna be broke.
Yeah, that's worse, right? Calling you broke is worse, right?
Right. I think that definitely is a more horrible type thing. All right. How about this one? Oreos and salsa or the burger cookie? Which would you rather?
Neither one. I don't like either one of those. But if you're forcing me to pick, oh my goodness. I mean, who eats that? I don't think I would. Do black folks eat that? I don't think they eat
I don't know, but it's what's on the menu, okay? Oreos and salsa, yum, and the burger cookie. Mmm.
I would just try. Well, I guess the burger cookie. I mean, yeah, the burger cookie.
Okay, okay. I can see that you're a more savory guy. You're a more savory
I
guy.
like
So,
Oreos and I like chocolate chips, but that combination is just kind of off. I
uh-oh.
never heard about that one.
How about this one? Hot dogs and jelly or Cheetos and milk?
Can I just say neither? Because both of them making me kind of queasy right now. I mean, so I would be lying. I would just be lying right now. I would be. What do the kids say? I'll be capping. No cap.
You be capping?
Yeah, I'll
Well,
be capping
how
hard.
about this? You're on Father's Day, your babies come to you with their big brown eyes and tell you that this is the menu. And one brings you hot dogs and jelly, and the other one brings you Cheetos and milk.
Now, to be honest,
Which one you going with?
my kids have brought me worse when they were little, and they used to bring me mud sandwiches and everything else, and I would pretend like I was eating it, and they thought I was eating it. So that's exactly what I would do. I pretend like I was eating it.
Well, which one would you pretend to eat? How
The
about
hot
that?
dogs and jelly, the hot dogs and jelly.
Definitely the hot dogs and jelly. Well, that's kind of like a breakfast food. All right, so here we go. We have the New England clam chowder popsicle. Um, and then we have the noodles with the mandarin oranges. Which one would you rather?
I do the noodles and mandarin orange. I don't
Okay.
like clam chowder at all, so I would just have to do that.
Oh my God.
I mean,
No.
I like mandarins and I like noodles separately, so I would just figure that out. But I don't really like clam chowder at all.
Really don't like the clam chowder. Oh, I get it. I mean, I'm thinking that you are a very knowledgeable guy. You kind of know what you want, and you kind of know what you don't want, and that's always a really good situation. So how about this one? Name 3 things better than sex and money.
3 things better than sex and money: a good relationship with God, loyalty, and good health.
Those are 3 really good choices. I mean, yeah, I can't argue with you there. I thought I was going to have like a follow up, but no.
Can't hear you.
Some some people's choices I actually uh, don't go with, but yours I definitely will. How about this photo? Give me 3 words only.
Bad life decision.
Yeah, I don't think going up on stage and doing that to Dave
Exactly.
Chappelle was like the best plan he could have came up with. Like,
Yeah, it's a bad decision.
I wanted to know who was sitting at his table when he came up with that plan. I want to know. I'm gonna take them behind the barn and I'm gonna whack them once or twice because they shouldn't have sent him out there like that. They really should
Hmm.
not have sent him out there like that. All right, this one is always a really cool question. The struggles of a single mom. What can you buy with this much? Do you think?
Today?
Yes. Here, let you count that again.
Oh my goodness. A piece of candy. I mean, you can't even buy a loaf of bread now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a piece of
Not even a
candy.
loaf of bread now?
A loaf of bread is like what, $3.99, $4? That's not $4. I can look at that right there. You just got some Canadian money up in there or something. That's not even real U.S. dollars.
Hey, maybe that little piece of something right there is worth something. You don't know.
Yeah, so I just say so. You could buy like a Hershey bar or something with that.
Just a Hershey bar.
Because
Good.
inflation is pretty bad right now. I mean, it's out of control.
Good Lord, it is out of control, and we're going to talk more about that later in the episode. For you guys who are tuning in today, tomorrow, and beyond, here is how you can support your friends, small businesses, podcasts, and other things without spending any money at all. You could share this video. You could like this video. You could tag a friend into this video. You can comment something nice. You can just comment something at all and be a part of the show, because whatever you comment, I'm going to put it on the show. You can comment an emoji. You can post a pic. You can shout me out. I appreciate that. Or my guest, because he's pretty phenomenal. Or you can leave a review, which is always a good thing. All right, Kaine.
Okay.
Okay, see?
You said it right.
Okay.
You said it right.
Yep, you just answer when I say it right. If I say it wrong, don't you answer. Deal?
Deal.
All right. So you have made it past round number 1. How did that feel?
Pretty good so far. Just waiting for the other
Okay.
shoe to drop.
Well, we wouldn't do that in round 1. We don't want to scare you away just now.
Okay.
Okay, so you're feeling pretty good, loosened up, you got it together.
Hmm.
Okay, so now here's the time when I ask you, do you want to continue to clown for round number 2?
Sure. Let's go.
I love it. I love it when people just ante up to the mic like I didn't say nothing, and then they get all like, yeah, we could do it. We could do it. But when they do say yes, we reward them with marketing and promo. And this is something that I found on our guest page that I wanted to show off to y'all. So let me start up Betsy, because she need time to start, and then let's see what we've got in today's spotlight.
Oh, okay.
Baby, don't be shy. I can tell that you want it by the sparkle in your eyes. And a little touch of fear don't mean that it's wrong. Tonight you got to wait, lady, so let's get it on. Let's get it on. All night long, all the way down. Tell me what you want to do. Lay you down slowly on the red satin sheet, kissing on your body until your knees get weak. Then let's travel until the place to back the sea. Be with me all night long. You call my name, I hear you call. Let me love you all the way down, baby.
All right, go ahead and let us know about what was happening in that clip because it was pretty dope.
Oh, okay, I appreciate it. That's a clip from my first film, Marvelous. It's a film about a 1970s singing group that was on their journey to make it in the music business. I shot that back in, started filming it in 2017, and we finished up around late 2018. And so 2019, we did a limited release online, but we're going to re-release that film uh, sometime in the coming future because, we still wanted to get it out to the audience.
Absolutely. It looked like it was a really, really great project. It looks like you guys was doing it and more. How long did it take to actually shoot that?
Well, for me, I'm an independent filmmaker, so I try to take my time and get it right. So it took us about 8 months to shoot that, and then it took me another 2 months for editing, so 10 months in total.
10 months in total. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it really does look like that, like you took your time. So I could definitely say that much. How hard was casting for this?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say it was hard because I love every aspect of it, but I mean, it was very intense. We had to find the right actors. Um, I think we started casting took about 3 months by itself because we had to find a search for all the right actors. So yeah, it was. I wouldn't use the word as hard as it was intense, and it was very very involved until
Okay.
we got the right people. And a lot of those people that you've seen in that clip, well, two of them, they went on to the guy Christopher Sky that you see singing mostly. He's on a new Lifetime series called Sins of the Suburbs, and the other guy Brian, he's on the Game. He's on Paramount Pictures, The Game. So they moved on, and they got picked up after we won those awards. So yeah, and so the casting, I was just circling back around to say that the casting process, the way that it was so focused, it actually worked because it did benefit the I call them artist actors after
Okay.
they moved on past the project.
Yeah, I want to be on one of your movies. I need to move on past the project. I need to move on. What was your favorite part about creating that movie?
Oh man, shoot. Man, I just love filmmaking, but just the favorite part about it was just recreating the '70s, and I love that era. It was so vibrant and alive and soulful. So that was my favorite part, just putting together the costumes, and that was my favorite part, just putting, because to me each scene is like a painting. That's the way I look at it. It's like a piece of
Okay.
artwork, and God knows you guys are hundreds of scenes, but I mean, every scene I'm very, very into each and every one of them, man. It's meticulous, but they're like a little painting for me. So, it's
Wow.
yeah,
It does seem meticulous. You seem like you really took your time. Like, I don't think I could concentrate that hard for 10 entire months, but that that is really good
oh
that
yeah.
you
We were
were.
we were
Go
on we
ahead.
were on set 10 to 12 hours a day, and
Wow.
yeah, it was. But it was like, for me, it was like 10 to 15 minutes, man. I was like, oh, it's time to go. Like, I just love being on set. It's therapeutic for me.
Right. I do get it in everything that you're saying. I understand, because when I get behind this computer and I get on screen, the
Me too.
hours seem to just dissipate. They turn into
Yeah,
seconds. I'm like, it's time
yeah.
to go.
Because you love what you do. You love what you do, and when you love what you do, that's how it goes.
And you definitely, I can hear it in your voice. You love what you do. How long have you been doing it?
Well, here's the thing. I started off as a music producer. I won't say I started off. I still am a musician and a music producer. I came into music when I was 16. I was born into a musical family on both my mother and my father's side. My mother, they're educators, um, politicians, and musicians and preachers.
Oh,
They're very
I
educated on my mom's side. On my dad's side, they're entertainers. They are singers and athletes.
Wow. So
And
you just
so,
got a little bit of everything. You got
yeah,
the singers, the filmmaking, the athleticism, all of that, huh?
yeah, yeah. So, I started filmmaking. My journey began in 1998. I had a recording studio in Riverdale, Georgia, on Highway 85, where I was, recording artists who came in and paid me to record their music sessions and produce music for them. And I had a chance meeting with some film students who asked me if I thought about getting into film. I said, yeah, but I didn't go to school for it. I went to college, but I didn't go to school for it. I knew that you have to respect the film business. It's not something you can just do by ear. You have to learn it. There's a steep learning curve, and so they were like, oh, uh, well, hey, if you buy some film gear to go with your recording gear and let us use it, then we'll teach you everything we're learning. Because they were film students at the Art Institute of Atlanta. So I struck a
Okay.
deal with them. I said, you guys come to my studio and I'll buy the gear, and you guys can do all your school projects. You just have to teach me. And so
Wow.
I started learning from them as they were learning. And so it took me on a 15-year journey, and I studied the craft for 15 years before I even published anything that I was doing. And so, yeah, that's how
Wow.
long I've been doing it, since 1998.
1998. I mean, I had my son in 1999, so that's how
Mhm.
I gauge time.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's been a little while, and I just say I studied the craft that long, and I dedicated myself to learning the craft and respecting it.
Absolutely. I had a company. I would say this was about 2008 or 9, and it was called Stylist Wranglers, right?
Hmm.
And what my concept was, see, I can say it now because I've already seen it on TV, right?
Hmm.
So this is a lesson to y'all tuning in today, tomorrow, and beyond. Please don't sleep on your ideas, because somebody else will be woke and will pick them up, and you will be seeing your stuff on television. So anywho, I was going to round up all of the stylists that I could, hair, nails, feet, dog, everybody. And I was going to make a online community like Facebook but just for the styling community. Yeah. And so I decided to go to school for it, right? Because I figured what was the best way that I could find the stylist and find the things that they need rather than to sign up to cosmetology school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. And then they got to the feet part. And I was like, well, I guess I'm done. So I'm really glad that they're thinking about forgiving all the student loans, because that definitely was one that I ain't using.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Who do you think is killing the music scene right now?
Okay, you got, which genre? Is it rap, hip-hop, R&B, country? I mean...
Well, this is definitely your episode, so you can tell me who's killing it in all the divisions, or you can pick your favorite one that's just stomping it out right now in all the genres.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I would say as far as in hip hop, I think the ladies are really they're running it at the moment. I think you got Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. I think they're really pushing they're pushing hip hop at this point. They're pushing the boundaries. They're setting the trends. You do have very, very notable acts like Lil Baby, Da Baby, and these individuals. But I think what's happening is that there's and I don't want to sound like an old head or like I'm criticizing, but I mean, I came from that era of hip hop where people would criticize and challenge to sharpen you as an artist. So I think that there's just too much similarity between artists on the male side in particular. Too many of them sound similar, and that was very cringeworthy when I was coming up. If you sounded like somebody, I mean, people would cringe. They would cringe, man. They're like, "What are you doing? That's so and so." But now they seem to take pride in kind of just sounding similar to someone else. I mean, I don't know if that's a criticism or just an observation. So
isn't that crazy though? Like nowadays, people don't even care that what they are doing is similar to anyone else's. They just
can you imagine someone coming out trying to sound like LL Cool J? That would never have passed. They would have been slaughtered in the media. They would have been crucified, I don't understand it, but I mean, maybe this generation, they're more laid back. They're more passive. I don't know what it is, but you could have not came out sounding like another artist, and been able to maintain a career. So I would say that the women have a little bit more variety, or a lot more variety, because there's a large difference between Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Is there?
I'm not talking about the image that they're promoting. I'm just talking about when you're listening to them on the radio, you can tell who's who. So,
can you?
I'm trying to give them something. I'm not trying to just be an old head, I'm not trying to be a complete old head, but I mean, that's an honest, observation on my behalf. I think the women are they have a little bit more variety. The guys is just almost impossible to tell the differences between the two. I mean, between different rappers. I mean, and so I'm just like, okay, my son said, listen to this. Like, it just sounded like three other people.
Like,
all of it sounds the same. So I mean, so it's not like it would sound okay, but then he would play 10 more guys that sound exactly like that. So I'm just
dear Jesus.
I would give it to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion as far as hip hop is concerned. R&B to me is just a non-existent format today.
Yep.
I would really just be lying. So
you would really just be lying if you tried to say anything else. You
got some people that are making a few little songs, but I mean, you can't say anyone's the best because they don't promote the genre, they don't support the genre, so it's hard to say.
Okay, so out of Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and Nicki Minaj, you got to crown the queen. Who's it gonna be and why?
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah, see, people are gonna be upset with me, but I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I would say Cardi B only because I really didn't like her that much at the beginning, and it wasn't anything personal, but it was just I didn't really like her because I felt like, maybe she was just a reality TV show person trying to rap. But as she went on, her rap styles and everything, because to me before this, now I'm gonna tell you my number one female rapper was Little Kim. But
Okay. Little Kim.
she's considered old school now. But Cardi really is. She has something to say, and when you listen to her interviews and you actually listen to her speak, she has a lot on her mind, and she really does have something significant to say. And until some of these other young ladies step to the microphone and say something noteworthy, you know,
Okay.
their careers are going to be trapped in that little commercialized bubble. Cardi has something to say, and I've listened to quite a few of her interviews, and she's intelligent. I think people just kind of like go with her persona and not really. But she's an intelligent person, so I think I wouldn't label her as the best, but she's the lead. She's in the lead right now.
She's in the lead, in the forefront. Okay.
She's in the forefront. Yeah, she's in the forefront. And she's going to remain in the forefront until the other ones start stepping to the microphone and actually using their platform to really push their art form forward with their voice.
Okay. I like your knowledge in music. You have a point of view and a reason for the season. You're not just throwing stuff out there all willy-nilly, and I respect that. So I am getting ready to place an artist in front of you, and I'm going to give you a scale of 0 to 10. I'm not going to tell you their name. I ain't going to tell you nothing about them. I just want you to watch the video, and at the end of it, I need a rating. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
And that's on production work too, because you are a film producer, and I would like to know.
This was the girl playing hard to get. This was the girl playing hard to get. This was the girl playing hard to get. So I said, what's wrong? Cause she looked upset. This was the girl playing hard to get. This was the girl playing hard to get. This was the girl playing hard to get. So I said, what's wrong? Wrong.
It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. You changed the game. Now we're also filled with sin and shame. I love you so. How much you'll never know. You took your soul away from me.
Well, once upon a time on these VA streets, there was no brother nigga Chad so in love with his beats. Conceived to see he was the product of rape. So people used to say that he was a mistake. He was digging the crate. He didn't know he was raped until he met with Roddy Yates and a boy named Ape.
Yo, you and me can record some tracks, and one day when we're older, we'll get platinum flags.
They did some songs, everything was cool, but he used to get in fights every day after school. He fought a brother and his brother and a cousin and another. Bad report caught, he got a beating from his mother. And since the being famous going on world tours, after hearing Slick Rick say the world is yours, the world is yours, but his heart was torn between his soul and his music. That's his teenage love.
It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. You changed the game. Now we're also filled with sin and shame. I love you so. How much you'll never know. You took your soul away from me.
Zang, now what was I to do? My girl wants a divorce, the industry is through. I'm like, don't fight, please be nice. For you in dismay, I ran into the Christ. He said I was the beat and he was the word. I dry my tears up and stepped off the I tried me shoot strings and stepped on defeat. Started rocking to the go-go beat. Now I'ma see these tight jeans, how the MC. The Omega gonna be the catastrophe. Girl, you a queen, don't get down on your knees. Only get down on your knees for the G.O.D. You ain't gotta be a girl gone wild. Still in grade school and already got a child. Yo, little bro, change up your lifestyle. Add a little positivity in your freestyle. Christ.
It's all because of you.
Okay, we won't go to the end. On your scale of grading, What do you got for us?
Okay, I would have to do this in some pieces. I think he's on to something. I see he's taking it back, but that can be a good thing because there's room for it right now because there's a void of originality in hip hop. So he's on to something. As a rap artist, I'll give him an 8 because he's good. The song is an 8. Whoever wrote it, they did a great job. Music production is where it's weak.
Okay.
Now, I was trying to gauge if he's from New York or Washington, D.C., because he kind of went in and out of accents. Where's he from?
I'm not telling you.
Okay. Because if he was trying to go, well, Che was throwing it off. Whoever produced the track, God bless them, because a lot of producers, they're really trying to help these artists, and they don't work for no money a lot of times to try to get on. But to be perfectly honest, he could really use a real slamming track.
Okay.
So I would give that track maybe a 5. It's like
Okay.
So and that would just be average. It's not dissing anybody, but the song is harder than the track. The rap is harder. The artist is good. He's 8. The hook is nice. I see how they use that the song. I forgot what it's called, but the song is good. I mean, and it could go, but I just think that they're going to have to do something with the actual track. And anybody would tell them that they were going to have to put a real slamming producer on that and
get it together.
Because the guy's good. I mean, he's really good. And then of course there's marketing and stuff. His style, he's got to come with a style that people can identify with. That's the only other thing.
Okay.
Like if you want to do a video, you really got to promote an image these days, and so he's got to maybe think about, okay, how do I really want to show myself?
Mm-hmm.
Put a little bit more thought into that. But as a rapper, he's an 8. The song is an 8.5 or 8. It could really go. I understand the retro approach, but I don't even think it's retro anymore. I just think it's good stuff. But he needs a real hard track. So the track is only a 5. Mm-hmm.
Well, you have made it to the end of round number 2. And I told you the questions and the things would get a little more saucy, but you seem to have come through with fine colors. So I like that part. I love it, love it, love it. So now I get to ask you, do you want to continue on to round number 3, which may be a little bit hot?
Sure.
Woohoo! I love it when they say yes, like I don't have no heat over here. Y'all don't want this smoke. Yeah, I know y'all be thinking y'all want the smoke, but you don't. But I'm going to see. Again, let me go ahead and do a station ID. You guys can catch up with us on a Roku, just like it says here. We love it. Fire Stick is also another home of ours. You guys can download the UBSN TV app, and you guys can search for Sauce in the City to play us on your big old TV in your living room. And you guys can send me pictures because I really, 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 really would like to see what it looks like. All right, now it's time to sizzle our guests with some harder questions. We wanted to get him loosened up. And there's nothing wrong with loosening up our guest for today's hot topics. And our first one goes down as CNN saying 16 minutes ago, a 17-year-old boy died by suicide hours after being scammed. The FBI says basically it's becoming a problem. Have you ever been scammed before?
Not really. No. When I was a kid, people try to scam you on the trains and stuff like that, but you begin to learn all of the little movements. I think a lot of young people today, they don't spend a lot of time, out in a physical environment dealing with people. So they spend a lot of time, behind computers and on video games, so they don't really have what I call a high social IQ, or so, their social taekwondo is very limited. So my heart goes out, to his family. But I just feel like a lot of kids don't have a lot of social interaction. I had tremendous amounts of social interaction, and I grew up in South Atlanta, and
Okay.
so I mean, people was trying to scam you all the time, and but you catch on to that stuff real quick and you keep it pushing. So no, I never been successfully scammed, because you can see that
Ah.
stuff coming if because people out here trying to eat, they're trying to make a living. So we used to call it hustling, whatever.
He was like, it wasn't scamming, it was
Yeah,
hustling.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's definitely what they called it when I was coming up too. So,
Mm,
and I mean, my heart does go out to his family, of course,
mm,
suicide and taking your
yeah,
life and that sort of thing. But at 17-year-old, I think if I got scammed, I'd have just chalked that up to a loss. Do you think
yeah.
like today's children, do you think they have like the acumen to kind of not do this kind of thing based off of these issues that when we were coming up, they like bullying was just called the dozens. There was no backlash for bullying.
Yeah,
So
well,
I don't know.
yeah, well, I totally agree. I think that, today's generation, we're living in a time where young people, they have limited social interactions with people. We live in a time where everybody's a winner. Everyone gets a trophy. No one has to earn anything. There's a false sense of entitlement. Um, Everyone is quick to get their feelings hurt. We're living in a PC, politically correct society where everything that a person says and does is held under some unrealistic microscope. So these young people are not really getting doses of real reality until they maybe go to prison or something.
uh,
Where where the law of the jungle is real. But
right.
when we were coming up, there was no such thing as bullying. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you know, somebody was picking on me outside. I remember I was like in the third grade. I came running home, knocking on the door. Mama, let me out! Mama, let me out! She was like, "What you want? What you want?" I don't know.
Oh
What
no.
out! She was like, "Stay on." I guess she had been looking out the window, and she was like, "Stay on out there. You ain't coming in the house.
Oh,
Stay out
not
there and
like
fight
that.
your own battle. Fight your own battle."
Speaking of another childhood
Mm-hmm.
thing, now I remember they used to say snitches get stitches or something of that terrible nature. And today I was watching one of my favorite programs, The View, and The View host slammed the ridiculous NPR masking tip line. So this is basically a company that has a hot tip line for people to call in and report other people not wearing their mask. Do you think this is a case of snitches get stitches or a case of public safety?
Well, here it is. I think that word, along with a lot of other words that come out and start trending, is overused, misused, and abused. When I was coming up, the word snitch meant something completely different. And I'm just going to define it, and I'm going to get to your question because I feel like I have to distinguish. When I grew up in my neighborhood, snitching meant that you went to the authorities and told on somebody who was making a living in the street.
Mm.
And the reason why that was looked down upon was because there weren't many options back in those days for employment for young black men in particular. So the streets was the only way that people were able to make a living and eat, doing whatever things in the streets they had to do. So that was something that was frowned upon because it was like an unspoken sentiment that good and well you going to the cops and getting that guy arrested, he can't even get a job. So that was the kind of snitching that I was, grew up on. It was like you were telling on somebody who couldn't do better for themselves and the streets was all they had. Now snitching can just mean anything. Doing the right thing can be considered snitching, you know. And so I feel like when you're talking about these mass mandates and all of these different things, I feel like we're living in a society where there is some measure or some attempt to just control people in general. I think you have entities, whether they are local governments, national governments, corporations, people, individuals, they just want to just control people. So, if you can turn your neighbor against each other, then you're living in a surveillance society. Everybody's watching everybody and everybody's walking around in fear. So I feel like
Yeah.
that kind of promotes that. It promotes fear, and fear of who? Fear of each other. And so if people are fearing each other, they won't organize, they won't unionize, they won't come together, they won't do anything because they'll be looking out of their blinds or their curtains, worried about what their neighbor is doing. So I think this whole thing that you just showed with the NPR is just furthering that division amongst people, neighbors against neighbors. I
Yeah.
don't think I don't think there's no means to an end to it other than to cause division.
I think you're probably absolutely right. I just say take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a need to regulate and police other people just when they are around me. Like, as long as you stay 6 feet over there, you can wear your mask underneath your armpits if that's what you want to do. Just do it over there.
Well,
Oh my God.
they're using any and everything for that. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Yep. Rolling on the looper 4 hours ago says Sony chairman confirms what we suspected about Will Smith's Oscar slap halting Bad Boys 4. Now, Will Smith had some bad behavior, I ain't gonna lie. But, I mean, as a filmmaker, do you think you would have halted everything for it?
Well, I think what you got to realize is that Will Smith commanded a lot of respect in Hollywood. He was one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood and one of the most influential public figures in Hollywood. Now, as much as that might garner you goodwill with many people, you may also create people who don't like you very much. And all they need is an excuse. So I feel like what this is at this point is there are entities and people that may find this a golden opportunity to try and take them down a notch. I think the average person who has any kind of compassion or any kind of just a regular opinion, you would not think, well, that's too far. One doesn't have anything to do with the other. He's a good actor. He brings in a lot of money. But when you are that big and you're that influential, as many fans as you have probably the equal amount of people who don't like you very much. And some of those people sit in high places. So Will's going to have to play this game out. And hopefully his career is able to withstand this opening that has been created by, just a bad moment in time for him.
I think it was people are never defined or should be never defined by one moment in time. However, that's people shouldn't be defined. Your career, not a great move, Will. And I think I would have stopped the whole movie production as well if it were me, because bad behavior does not deserve a reward for no reason.
See, when I look at it, at the end of the day, it's all dollars and cents. So it depends on if he's attached to a project that is very sensitive to what's going on socially, and they feel like it might affect their bottom line. It's all dollars and cents. So I don't feel like, unless he has people that are part of these organizations that he may have created some. Because I mean, if you get that big, you're going to create some what do they call it, casualties of war along the way. So if some of these people happen to be sitting in the seats of influence when you are not down on your luck, it may not go so well for you when you need them. So I feel like it's really just a matter of dollars and cents and who are the corporate sponsors, who are their, who are their, their investors and all these type of things.
Just all
So
these crazy questions. You know what? Speaking of investors and having to look at people around you, you never think that one person or other will call you crazy and then try to take a hold of everything. And when I was looking at Will Smith's behavior, I thought Wendy Williams couldn't be no worse than that. But page 6, 4 hours ago, said Wendy Williams, quote unquote, not in agreement with court appointed financial guardian. Do you think that people with a lot of money and wealth and things of that nature, do you think if they start exhibiting kind of loopy behavior that they should be put under guardianship, or do they have the right to do with their money what they want to do with their money?
well, I feel like just because people attain a large measure of success and become extremely wealthy, they don't lose their rights as a citizen. Okay, so
Amen.
some of this is legal. In other words, Wendy still has rights as a citizen to be able to manage her own affairs unless she has some type of medical condition that a certified physician has signed off on that says that anything otherwise, and even if that's the case, she has family members and she has a team of people, attorneys that can deal with that accordingly. So I feel like she shouldn't lose her rights as a citizen simply because she's a celebrity and she has a lot of money. But as I stated with the Will Smith situation, when you get that big, you will create casualties of war along the way. And what I mean when I say that is, hey, when a rocket takes off, it leaves wreckage behind. I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, you don't know what kind of people are around trying to make sure these celebrities, don't revive their careers after their setbacks. You just never know. So I
You
mean, you just don't know.
you just never ever know about
Yeah.
what happens behind the scenes, and I really wish people would like consider the fact that these are people too. So I really hope
But let me say this. Let me say this. One time I heard Evander Holyfield say this, and I thought it was one of the wisest things I ever heard. This was when he became heavyweight champion of the world. He said that his mom always told him, be careful how you treat people because the same people you see going up the ladder, you're going to see coming down.
Oh
And
wow.
so, and I feel like I don't know Will's journey. I don't know Wendy's journey. I don't know how they treated anybody. But what Evander Holyfield was saying was very, very, valuable, good information that his mom told him because it speaks to what we're talking about right now. Because when have to take some steps back, you want some of that goodwill or that you've built up over the years with people to kind of soften that fall. So I don't know where they are in life as it pertains to that.
I like that it's like be careful of the toes you step on, for they
Mm-hmm.
may be connected to the booty you have to kiss one day. And so that all might come in handy,
And we
when
don't
you
know these things, so a lot of the questions that you're asking are amazing, great questions, but we don't know what their relationships were like as they were moving up in the world, with people. We
well,
would never know that.
it was obvious not that good because there wasn't a petition that went out that said, don't hold up bad boys for, we want to see Will. So obviously maybe something is going down that we should take a look at in future news
Mm-hmm.
works. Next question. Red State 5 hours ago says Netflix canceled some of its quote unquote woke shows, signaling its backpedal from leftism. Do you think that that's what it signals? Is like if they're
Yes,
taking
and I say things. I'm gonna tell you this now. I have my own separate political views, but this is what I believe. When you're creating film, you're dealing in the world of fantasy. Okay, unless you're a documentary filmmaker or something like that, you're dealing in the world of fantasy. You're dealing in the world of make believe. You're creating an opportunity for people to enjoy themselves, escaping reality. If you're doing your job,
Okay.
I think the infiltration of politics into film on a permanent basis, not on a every now and then a director gets inspired and makes a really moving film about what's going on, or Marvin Gaye does what's going on in this amazing song. But after a while, what ends up happening is if that's all the work that is being promoted and funded starts to come out of every song and what's going on, and everybody's getting shot and killed and everybody's getting a raw deal, and every single song on the radio is about that, it becomes overwhelming and the art begins to suffer because we are dealing with art. So I feel like Netflix, in my opinion, I applaud them with that decision only because I feel like they have to get back to just creating, art. Now, my opinion is if you want to have politically inspired films and people want to just sit back and watch just a cornucopia of political wokeism in every film, then they should have a channel for that. This is all you could. It's a buffet. You can just watch it till your eyes bleed. You can cry. You can get mad and throw your TV out the window. This station is just for you. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So I don't believe you should do away with it, but I don't believe that it should just infiltrate all avenues of filmmaking to the point where we lose the art. I believe there's a place for everything in art. So I just feel like, if you want to have politically based movies and that's what you want to go watch and see, then we can create a channel for that or outlet for that. But I feel like Netflix is saying we don't want to be that outlet. We want to stick with just
good
fantasy
work.
and good work and art. And maybe we'll fund the channel since we see there's a demographic for that. Then maybe we'll take some of our money and build, the political fix instead of Netflix,
Politics.
Politics. There you go. That's even better. Politics.
Hey, y'all heard it here first, people. Politics. Yeah. Okay?
So then everything you're watching on that channel, you know what to expect.
Absolutely. You guys, this has been Kaine. I think I hit that H, but
yeah,
Kaine,
you did it right. That was great.
Okay, Kaine Entertainment and his views on some of our hotter topics. We still got some to go, but I had like a off-brand question because someone hit me up in my inbox and they was like, I got a question, but I don't think they want to be like live on my feed asking. But it's included in the 21 questions. Are you single?
Yeah, I am.
There you have it, ladies of the Sauce in the City singles match game. He is indeed single, and I will do what I can in the green room to see if I can get him on another show or something. But your question has been answered. We like to, make sure that we're listening to our public. And because I found this on your page, which says Attraction 101, opposites do attract, but they often result in karmic relationships filled with hard lessons, conflict, and disappointment. Relationships based on attracting lead to more harmonious relationships because both people share the same values. Do you want a happily ever after? Learn to love somebody just like you, which I thought was amazing, outstanding. On top of it all, I thought this was a great quote. And so now I have another question, which is, if I were to ask your family and friends to name 3 things that would make Kaine happy, what would they be?
For him to be able to do whatever he wants to do.
Oh boy.
Really, that's it. Because I don't think it's 3 things. But let me think. Kaine likes to travel. He likes to be free. So do whatever he wants to do. You can just say he likes to be free. He doesn't like to be, controlled or tied down or whatever. He likes to travel and free to create. He likes to create. Those are the things that make me happy. So I mean, I'm just perfectly,
Okay,
and all my
I
family
like
knows this
it.
about me.
All
He
I
likes
have
to
is
create things. Yeah.
a puffer, some Carmex, and some cheese puffs. And like, if you ask my son, he's like, "Yeah, mom's real low key."
Mhm.
Well, there you go. Thank you for answering those out of the way questions. But I definitely had the ladies on the inbox, and I was like, well, let me be nosy and go ahead and hook my girls up and see what is down with his personal life before we move on. Next question. CBS News 5 hours ago. As midterms near, the debate over student loan forgiveness heats up. They want to forgive all the student loans. They think it will help our economics. What do you think?
I'm all for it because I feel like the student loans were a raw deal anyway. In other words, you were handing out teenagers student loans and that you knew they couldn't pay back, creating the student debt crisis. These same kids can go out here and get a student loan just by signing it, but they can't get a loan to purchase a house. There was something inherently wrong with that. And so I feel like the government is catching up to that, whether they are doing it out of any form of altruism, which I doubt. But there's some political motive behind it. But I mean, it was wrong from the start. So they should forgive those student loans because they were never designed to be paid back, and they're putting people in a lifetime of debt. And it's just too unequal. It's just too unequal. So yeah, I'm all for it. Forgive their debts.
Forgive
And
their debts. Y'all hear him? Forgive their debts, because that's including mine. So forgive my debt too. All
And
right.
anybody that pay their student loan off, they need to give them a debt credit. They need to give them some type of credit towards something, whether it's to purchase a home, a down payment on a home, or something. Because some people struggle to pay their student loans off. So those individuals who paid their loan off should be given a credit. So towards something like purchasing a home or a vehicle or something.
I like that. I like that's a good idea. I hope somebody will share this to somebody who could do something about it. We have all kinds of politicians and things checking in on our page and on our feed, and they kind of be low key creeping. But if y'all heard that one, that would be perfect, I think. All right, next question up. Khloe Kardashian gushes over Tristan Thompson getting fan kicked out of game for calling Khloe a pass around girl. Now, I mean, I understand that, he was looking out for his girl and all, but was it that serious? I don't know, Kaine. What do you think?
Well, this is what I think. However you make your living, people are going to engage you accordingly. So if you make your living presenting your life before people in all of its glory and all of its imperfections, people are going to feel they know you. They're going to address you with respect and or disrespect according to what you are giving them. So I feel like those individuals, such as that family, the Kardashians, who make a really good living, you know, selling their lifestyle to the public, they got to realize that there are drawbacks to that, and I'm pretty sure they do. I feel like Tristan Thompson, whatever his reaction was, I'm pretty sure he felt like he was right for doing so. But I just think people need to just keep in mind that this is how individuals today using reality shows are gaining fame and fortune by selling their lifestyles to people and their privacy, selling their privacy to people. They're handing over their privacy to the general public. So when you get a negative response from the general public, you have to have a plan of action that does not include being negative towards the public. You have to have a way that you're going to deal with that is designed to preserve your dignity and also preserve your fan base. So I think that people have to just kind of put a little bit of thought, hey, I do live this lifestyle, so these people think they know me. If they want to call me these names, it's only because they have access to my private life. So the men that come in their lives, they have to understand that as well. But, emotions, they're still human. So emotions a lot of times will take over. You're not thinking quite right at that moment. But yeah, that's what I think. I think that she was just thinking like a regular person at that time, being happy that that fan was kicked out. And he was acting like a regular person for those moments. But they both have to realize that you're not regular people anymore. Once you start selling your lifestyle, selling your privacy, you're not regular.
That is so true. I walk down the street in my apartment complex and people jump out of nowhere and be like, hey, good morning. And I'm like, why are you talking to me? But if I traded all of that in, I'd have to respond back to them. Like, that's a part of the contract, right? If you become public, everything in your life basically is public. I don't know where they get that. I have a right to be private because, yeah, you do, but.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You know what? That's an old school argument. Like, my father's an entertainer, and he was in a singing group, and back in the day, and they were doing their thing. He was in a singing group called the Delphonics. Him and my uncle.
Oh wow!
And those guys had a right to their privacy because they would only give you a certain aspect of themselves. And actors back then, they would only give you an aspect of themselves that was on television. Today's reality stars are giving you their entire private life. So they don't have a private life.
Right.
So I mean, because they're mortgaging their private life for fame and fortune. So their private life actually belongs to the public. Literally. Because that's how they make their money. There would be no reality show if you did not agree to hand over your private life. The more of your private life you hand over, the more money they will give you. That is a part of the deal.
Betcha by golly, wow, you're the one that I've been waiting for forever.
That's stylistics.
Oh, dang. Well,
they will la 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 means I love you. La 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 means I love you.
Wait a minute. La 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 mean I love you. Which one was your dad? Was he the baritone?
No, he was the high tenor William, and my uncle Wilbur, and then there was Randy Kaine, God bless him, and Major Heffner.
Wow. Well, we have royalty on the screen, y'all. Y'all better recognize. All right. CNN 21 hours ago says Ethan Crumbley's parents asked judge to quash charges against them, I guess meaning drop them, because they say it's not his fault. I mean, it's not their fault that he took the gun that they bought him for Christmas and went and took out everybody at school. I don't know. Kaine, what do you think? Is it the parents' fault, or are they just?
I feel like this has been the prevailing sentiment for what, 400 years? I mean, we live in two different justice systems. For those parents to even think the thought to even come to their mind that they can even suggest that, lets you know that there's a sense of entitlement in their two justice systems that they're fully aware of. Because I don't know any black parent on this planet that would even think that. They'd be ready to throw themselves on the mercy of the court. So my baby, you know what I'm saying? But, white parents tend to think that the justice system is for them. They can, well, let's just forget about this. I mean, they really, really feel like they can do that. And they'll look at you like, what's wrong? Can we all just do that? I mean, so their reality is different. It's two systems, and this is just indicative of the way that the justice system and the way they police needs to be revisited. It needs to be, you need law and order. Yeah, you need police officers. Yeah, you need the justice system. But our justice system needs to be You know how you have a house after a while it gets a little broken down and you need to kind of do some what do you call it? The word
Some
escape.
refurbishing. You have to do
Refurbishing. You got
some work on it.
I guess the system needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of refurbishing. It needs to be you need more diversity throughout. Go in and root out a lot of these little cliques and these little pockets of where it's rotten,
Yes, absolutely.
Replace that wood, So, yeah, for the parents to think that is almost hilarious, but it's just their state of mind is different. They believe they can weaponize the police and weaponize the court against people who aren't white, the others, because in their mind it's simply the others, and they can and they get somehow caught up, into the police or justice system. They talk to the police like they're friends and talk to the judge like that's their neighbor.
Which they probably are.
Yeah, even when they're not, though. Have you ever seen how casual they even talk to the judge or talk to them when they get pulled over? They're yelling at the cop. I gotta go to work. They just and the cop is reciprocating with the same amount of familiarity. Even though they don't know each other.
I do. I see that all the time. Bringing it to my thought process. It took my poor son. He got pulled over his very first time, and it took him like 30 minutes to get back to driving the car. Like we were ghost riding the whip for like at least 30 minutes of the car ride after that happened.
and I've heard some of my white friends. They call it getting folksy. That's their word.
Getting folksy.
Yeah. White folks get real folksy with the police or the judges. They talk to them. They call it being folksy, like they know each other. It's familiar.
My folks, them my folks. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but CBS News over here 2 hours ago says the judge, COVID asylum restrictions must continue on the border. So basically they can't come over here because COVID is on the rise. Now, do you think that was just a simple ploy to keep that ridiculous law in order? Or do you think, it's a good plan to kind of keep everybody separated until we kind of figure out what we doing?
Well, whether or not it's a good plan or not depends on the city planners and the individuals who lead that particular state, county, or local government. I believe that a lot of politicians have politicized COVID to no end. So it's almost hard to detect when there's genuine health concerns for the public at play, or is it some political agenda? So it's very hard and very difficult to even analyze that because COVID has been politicized to no end. I personally believe that they should pass a law that whenever there's some type of pandemic, only licensed physicians and or scientists should be allowed to speak. Politicians should be prohibited from saying anything whatsoever. If it's not a doctor, if it's not a licensed scientist, politicians should take a back seat, sit down, go somewhere down. But go sit, what down in the corner somewhere and be quiet.
And don't get up no more.
Exactly, because they muddied the whole conversation about COVID with politics. So, I just believe only licensed physicians, doctors, and scientists should even be allowed to speak about anything dealing with a pandemic. Not the president, nobody. They should have somebody. If it's the Surgeon General, let the Surgeon General talk. And the Surgeon General better have some medical background, which they do. The president, the Surgeon General should take the lead over the president when it comes to pandemic or something that deals with public health. Because the president now, what is his background? He's just gonna sit up there and say something that we always say,
Yeah, like number 45 who sat up there and said, "Oh, it's like a cold, it'll go away." 2 years later, and a million lives later. So I'm like, okay, no, I didn't. I was unfortunate enough to catch it in 2019 before they put a name on it, and I can tell you this: it wasn't going nowhere. That's how I knew he was lying, is because what I experienced was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my whole entire life of being sick. And that's including having a 9-pound, 1-ounce child. Okay. So I was like, nah, I don't think it's just going to disappear, but we'll see. So with that being said, Kaine, thank you so much. Thank you so very much. You have completed round 3. So give yourself a round of applause because you batted them questions out the park like nobody's business. And I have not seen that kind of professionalism in a long while. And again, people, if you guys want to tune in, here are the easy steps, because we always like to end the show with you knowing where to go, in case you want to see us. But also, we end the show with game time, which is our guest reward for being such a great guest. Okay, so now it's game time, Kaine. Now time for the fun. Are you ready for your game?
Sure, yes.
All right. This is one that we play all the time. It is called Sell That Skew. Okay. And this is where we put 60 seconds on the clock, and we give you some directions, and you are to turn into the best sales agent possible. You got us?
Got you.
All right. I want you to pick up the thing nearest to you, to your left.
Okay.
The clock is set. 60 seconds on the clock for you to sell that skew.
Okay, guys, this is Pure Life water. This is bottled water. I bought this from the dollar store. The dollar store sells Pure Life water, and it will hydrate you in a jam if you like to jog, if you like to run, if you like to do anything that is active. Pure Life water. Now, mind you, this might be bottled water straight out of your sink, but you can't tell, because Pure Life water looks like water. Drink Pure Life water.
Very nice.
Sold at a local dollar store near you.
Sold at the local dollar store near you, and also here on Sauced in the City. Only on this episode, so you guys have to put the comments on this episode if you want Kaine's water that he buys from the dollar store. Wow, we have come to the end of the episode, and it has been so much fun. But I do have people who tune in today, tomorrow, and beyond, and they try to get me about not asking 21 questions. So I always say 3 bonus questions to the end of the interview, just to make sure that I get my allotment in. Are you ready for your 3 bonus questions, Kaine?
Yes.
All right, number 1, did you have a good time with us today?
Yes, I did. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Yay! Look at that face, ladies. Don't flood my inbox. I'm telling y'all, don't flood my inbox. Okay, question number 2. You're in the filming industry and whatnot. Have you ever seen an interview or been a part of an interview, anything like it on the internet or anywhere?
Like this show?
Yep, like this show.
Nope, this is an original.
Yes! Ooh, ooh, Okay, I had to celebrate by myself. All right, question number 3, always most important to us. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, that was the question. Good. No, I'm just kidding. Will you come back and join us for another episode so we can get a little bit more nosy?
Sure, I sure will.
Yay! We love you and we have enjoyed you so very much. I want you to take a moment to tell everybody about an upcoming project and where they can find you to get said project.
Oh, okay. Well, right now, first of all, guys, I'm a film producer, so I stay making movies. It's my passion. It's what I love to do. Currently, I'm working on Marvelous Southside Crew, which is a film about four black teenagers growing up in Atlanta during the hip hop era in the 1980s. So it's a coming of age film / TV series that I will be filming on coming this fall. I also will be casting for it in another feature film that I'm working on in July and August here in Atlanta. On June 25th at the Silver Spot Cinema, I'm having a red carpet event. So if you guys want to come out and see the film, it's on June 25th at the Silver Spot Cinema at the Battery in Atlanta. And it's a red carpet event, and so we're getting a lot of people to come on out. So if you want to come, hit me up on Facebook, and you'll see the because I'm allowing all of my Facebook friends that want to come out to go ahead on and RSVP from Facebook. So if you want to come out on June 25th and check us out on the red carpet, come on out.
Oh my God, I want to come out. I want to go. So I know where to go now to get signed up. And I hope, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, that I have a little ticket waiting for me or some kind of concierge service or something.
I got you. Yeah,
you got me?
Yes.
I get to be on the guest list. All right. And with that being said, Kaine, it has been nothing but my pleasure to have you on the show today. You are quite the guest, and I could literally sit here and talk to you forever, but I won't, because both of us got stuff to do, and we got to talk about some upcoming stuff in the green room. So with that being said, everybody, of course, we hate to say goodbye, but we always have to, but only for a short moment. Like I said, you guys can catch up with us on Roku for a replay of this video. Do not stay away, people, because you will miss a lot. You will come back and the whole studio will be different. Shout out to Cherokee Angie for her photo of us on Roku. I really like this photo. It makes me feel at home all the time. We have gained a new platform, or a couple of new platforms, so shout out to us. So you can watch the Sauce in the City singles match game. You can watch that on PCTV on Comcast Channel 21, Verizon Channel 47. You can view that episode live stream on demand. All of the information is right there. Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, Apple devices. We all over the daggone place. And if you want a slight copy of the schedule, here's our next 2 upcoming dates. So just turn us on your TV. You ain't got to download a damn thing. You could just turn on the TV. People in Pittsburgh and beyond, I think, wherever those places go. And with that being said, people, my name is Brenda Brown. She likes to clown, but it is AKA the Chocolate Child. And you know, the only way that we can really tell our guests thank you is to go out the same way we came in. Take a look.
You never felt like you were that lucky with the women back then. Well, if you weren't that lucky with the women, how are you able to write such beautiful songs about love?
How much time you got?
One day you love me, the next day you don't. What's the cause?
Damn, bitch, how long we gonna have to keep doing this?
Keep doing what?
Boxing? I'm trying to be a singer one day. How's this gonna help me be a singer?
You need to get a job. You know they hiring down at the barbershop, don't you?
You gotta push no boom around for a living to make money.
So you guys ready to start?